Welcome to Zoe Stories. She said it was just an experiment. Now I'm carrying her baby. I never imagined a simple favor could change my life forever. I had always been invisible, or so I thought. At 21, I blended into classrooms, libraries, even my own apartment. My life was quiet, predictable, and painfully ordinary. People rarely noticed me. I liked it that way. Safe, contained, unnoticed. That was until Alina stepped into my life. Alina, my cousin's roommate, my childhood friend, someone who seemed to bend reality just by walking into a room. Confident, magnetic, a spark of mischief in her emerald green eyes that made people freeze in place. She wasn't cruel, not exactly, but she had this uncanny way of twisting situations to her will, like the universe itself bent around her whims. And that day, she had a plan for me. "I need a volunteer for a little experiment," she said, leaning against my bedroom door with that dangerous smirk. She didn't wait for a response. "You'll be perfect." I froze.
Me?
Perfect? For what? "It's harmless," she continued, as if reading my mind. "Just a day. One day of dressing up, trying something different." My heart pounded. Dressing up? Like as a girl? The words collided with my brain and refused to make sense. I had seen people do cosplay, theater, some silly online challenges. But Alina? When she said experiment, it always meant more than it sounded. "Come on, it'll be fun," she added, circling me slowly. I could feel her gaze, sharp yet teasing, like she was already seeing the new version of me before I could even imagine it myself. "I'll guide you, step by step. You'll learn to look beautiful, maybe even irresistible." I laughed nervously, trying to mask the panic rising in my chest. "Irresistible?
Me?
You don't have to decide now," she whispered, leaning close, her breath warm against my ear. "Just trust me." That was the moment everything started to unravel. I remember the trembling in my hands as she handed me the bag. It was filled with clothes I'd never imagined wearing. A soft, pink blouse, a delicate skirt, thigh-high stockings, and my eyes widened, heels. The fabrics were soft, almost alive in my hands. The scent of perfume clung faintly to them, intoxicating, foreign. "Try them on," she commanded gently, her voice soft but impossible to resist. I hesitated, the walls of my comfort zone crumbling with every heartbeat. Just one day, I told myself. One day won't hurt. The mirror loomed before me. I stared at my reflection. The boy I had always been, safe and unremarkable. Then I changed into the clothes. The moment the blouse brushed my skin, I felt different. Vulnerable. Exposed. Embarrassed. And strangely alive. Alina watched, her expression unreadable. "You look promising," she said, circling me slowly, like an artist examining a canvas. "We're just getting started." Then came makeup. I had never touched eyeliner, mascara, or lipstick. Her hands guided mine, teaching me precise movements, correcting my mistakes with soft, insistent pressure. I hated feeling so clumsy, so helpless. But I also craved, the tiny thrill when she whispered, "You look beautiful." I wanted to argue, to reject it, but her words lingered. The word beautiful, it felt like a secret I had never known about myself. "We'll take it outside," she said finally. "You'll see the world through new eyes." My stomach twisted. Public? In this? No one can see me like this, I thought frantically. This is impossible. "Impossible doesn't exist today," she replied, reading my panic like a book. "Come on, pretty girl." And that was it. The die was cast. I stepped outside, heels clicking against the sidewalk. Every eye that glanced at me, every whisper, every stare, was a dagger and a thrill all at once. My heart raced, my breath caught. I was exposed, humiliated, and I didn't want it to end. Alina's hand found mine, tight, possessive. "Welcome to your new life," she murmured. And at that moment I realized there was no turning back. Every step I took in these heels felt like walking on the edge of a cliff, and I didn't know if I wanted to fall or climb. The morning sunlight spilled through my blinds, but I hardly noticed. My room, once a safe little box of anonymity, now felt like a cage, and I was both the prisoner and the exhibit. The soft pink blouse I had worn yesterday had been swapped for something slightly bolder today, a fitted white top paired with a flared skirt that brushed my knees. My legs, encased in silky stockings, felt exposed, vulnerable. Yet there was a strange thrill I couldn't suppress. Alina stood across from me, arms crossed, her usual smirk dancing across her lips. "Ready for the next step?" she asked. Her eyes glinted like a predator sizing up her prey, or perhaps her creation. I don't know if I can," I whispered, my voice faltering. It sounded thinner, softer than I remembered. The sound alone made me shiver. "Can't or won't," she countered sharply. Her tone wasn't cruel, exactly, but there was a steel edge to it that made my chest tighten. The difference matters. I swallowed, fumbling to straighten the skirt. I knew she was right. Every hesitation, every stutter, only fueled her control, and in some twisted way, part of me wanted that. Alina guided me to the mirror. Posture. Always posture. Chin up, shoulders back. "You're not just wearing the clothes, you are the look." I tried to mimic her movements, but my body refused. The skirt swirled awkwardly as I spun. The heels clicked unevenly against the floor, each misstep making me wince. Alina's gaze softened briefly, almost approvingly, before the smirk returned. "Better, but not there yet." Then she handed me a small compact mirror and a tube of lipstick. "Your turn," she said. "Let's see if you can make your face as pretty as your body." I stared at my reflection. My features felt alien under the makeup, cheeks flushed with blush, eyes outlined in black, lips glistening red. I barely recognized the person staring back. The boy I had been, the quiet, invisible observer, was gone. In his place was someone softer, prettier, fragile, exposed. A wave of panic hit me. This isn't me. This can't be me. But Alina's hand rested on my shoulder, grounding and yet controlling. "It is," she whispered. "The real you has always been inside, hiding. Don't fight it. Let it out." The idea of leaving my apartment was terrifying. Public exposure was a punishment I never imagined, but Alina's excitement was contagious. "We're going to the mall. Simple, easy, low stakes. You'll see the world through new eyes." I nodded, though my stomach churned with dread. The moment we stepped outside, the cool air against my bare arms was shocking. Heels clicking against the sidewalk, skirts swishing, heads turning. I could feel the stairs like tiny electric shocks, igniting embarrassment and something else I didn't want to name. Alina walked beside me, her presence a mix of comfort and dominance. "Relax," she said, her voice soft but commanding. "Own it. You're beautiful. Let them see it." Every compliment, every stare, pierced me with confusion. The word beautiful echoed in my mind. It shouldn't feel good, but it did. And for the first time, I realized something terrifying. Maybe I wanted it to feel good. Alina had a way of mixing kindness with cruelty that made me dizzy. She'd smile, stroke my hair, whisper encouragement, and then casually point out my mistakes. "Your walk is still too stiff. People notice. Do you want them to laugh at you?" I wanted to shrink, run, disappear, but her hand on my back pushed me forward. "No running today. This is your life now. At least for a while," she murmured, almost teasingly. A little girl in the mall glanced at me and giggled, whispering to her mother. My cheeks burned. Every humiliation felt like it carved me deeper into this new identity. Yet the thrill, the secret excitement of being seen and admired, was impossible to ignore. Then it happened. A boy, maybe a year older than me, stopped beside the clothing rack I was pretending to examine. His eyes lingered, a mixture of curiosity and something warmer. "Hey, you look really pretty," he said, voice low. I froze. My mind screamed fake, wrong, get away, but my lips, coated in red, betrayed me with a shy, almost pleased smile. Alina's smirk behind him told me she noticed too. "See? They notice. They always notice." The encounter left me reeling. Confusion, embarrassment, and a tiny, unwelcome spark of enjoyment mingled in my chest. Back home, I collapsed before the mirror. I stared at myself, the boy I had been, now buried beneath makeup, skirts, and stockings. My reflection looked alive, sensual, and almost foreign. I hated it. I loved it. I feared it. I craved it. Alina appeared behind me, her hand brushing mine as she touched the mirror. "Don't fight it," she whispered. "The world sees you now, and so do I. Let yourself feel." Her words echoed in my mind as I fell asleep that night, torn between panic and anticipation. Tomorrow, she promised, would be even more revealing. That night, I dreamt of strangers' eyes on me, whispering, laughing, admiring. And when I woke, Alina was already at my door, holding a new outfit, a new pair of heels, and a smirk that promised today would change everything. I wanted to refuse, but I already knew I couldn't. Every glance felt like a spotlight. Every whisper felt like a verdict. And somehow, I craved the attention I was supposed to hate. The morning sun barely touched my room when Alina appeared at the doorway, her usual confident grin in place. Today's outfit was a shock even to me, a pastel blue dress that clung gently to my torso, flaring softly over my hips. The skirt ended just above my knees, revealing the silky stockings I had learned to manage. Barely. "Today we go deeper," she announced, her voice low but commanding. "You're not just dressing like a girl. You're becoming one. And the world will see it." I wanted to protest. "Not ready, too much, stop." But her gaze pinned me to the floor. The thrill of defiance twisted into submission. I nodded, hands trembling as I smoothed the skirt over my legs. Alina led me to the mirror, a full-length one that reflected every inch of me. She circled behind, brushing my hair with delicate fingers. "Posture, remember? Every movement must be controlled. Graceful, deliberate, feminine," she instructed, demonstrating a slow, swaying walk that seemed natural to her. I tried to copy her, heels clicking unevenly, spine stiff. She stopped, tilting my chin up. "No. Relax. Let your body learn you. Stop resisting." I stared at my reflection, feeling alien in my own skin. The mascara she had applied yesterday made my eyes look wider, more inviting. Lipstick had replaced the nervous tremble with a smile that almost felt foreign. I hated it. I loved it. Confusion wrapped me tighter than any skirt ever could. "You're learning fast," she whispered almost sweetly, yet the underlying command was impossible to ignore. By mid-morning, we stepped into the city. Alina held my hand, guiding me through the streets with ease and authority. Every head that turned, every pair of eyes that lingered, was torture. My face burned. My stomach knotted. "Notice them noticing you," she murmured. "Enjoy it, even if you don't want to." I didn't want to, and yet a small, embarrassing part of me did. A teenage girl passing by giggled. I felt a pang of humiliation and excitement. The duality of emotion was exhausting. At a cafe, she had me order drinks. "Speak softly, lightly, and don't let your hands shake. You're not just another boy today. You're a girl, and everyone will know it." My voice trembled as I spoke. The barista's eyes lingered longer than necessary. I felt my heart hammering, a strange thrill of attention coursing through me. Alina's hand squeezed mine, silent acknowledgement of my progress, or perhaps my compliance. Back in the dressing room of a small boutique, she demanded a final test. Try on lingerie over the clothes. My hands shook violently. Tears pricked my eyes. I can't," I whispered. "Yes, you can," she countered softly, almost soothing. "You will. You're stronger than you think." She left me alone for a moment. I stared at myself in the mirror. The boy I had been, safe, unnoticeable, predictable, was gone. In his place stood someone soft, beautiful, and impossibly exposed. Humiliation, fear, and an odd thrill coiled together, suffocating me. When she returned, she helped me into the delicate lace. Her hands brushed mine, warm, commanding, guiding. The skirt swayed over the lace, the fabric whispering secrets to my skin I couldn't name. "You're almost ready," she murmured. "Tomorrow we go out properly. No hiding. No pretending." That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, heels and stockings still on, heart pounding. I was terrified, embarrassed, confused. And yet, I wanted more. Alina's words echoed relentlessly. "The world will see the real you. And so will I." Somewhere in that line, I realized the terrifying truth. The boy I was yesterday was already gone. And just as sleep finally claimed me, a thought pierced through the fog of my anxiety. What if I don't just wear this life? What if I become it? I wasn't just changing clothes anymore. I was losing pieces of myself, one careful step at a time. The morning light poured through my blinds, but I barely noticed. My reflection stared back at me from the mirror. Long hair cascading over delicate shoulders, a soft pastel blouse hugging my torso, a skirt that swayed with each step. The heels I had learned to walk in yesterday no longer felt awkward. They clicked with tentative confidence. But confidence was fragile. Fragile and terrifying. Alina entered the room, eyes glinting with her usual mix of warmth and command. "Today, we leave your apartment for good. No hiding. No walls. The city will see you, the real you." My chest tightened. The idea of leaving home, stepping fully into public view in this outfit, terrified me. And yet, a deep, unnameable part of me stirred with anticipation. I don't know if I can," I murmured, gripping the edge of my dresser. "Can or won't?" she asked, her voice soft but immovable. "There's a difference, and you know it. Step out. Or stay here and remain invisible forever." Her words, calm and precise, left no room for argument. We walked to the subway station, my heels clicking against the concrete. Each glance from passers-by felt like a spotlight, each whisper like a verdict. My stomach churned, my face burned. Alina squeezed my hand. "Notice them noticing you. Don't look away. Enjoy it just a little. That's all I ask." A group of teenagers passed by, snickering. My face heated. I wanted to shrink, disappear, but my body betrayed me. A small, involuntary smile tugged at my lips. I hated it. I hated that I hated it. We reached a small cafe, and Alina guided me to a table by the window. "Order for yourself. Speak softly, lightly, and let your hands float naturally." I fumbled with the menu, my fingers shaking. The barista looked at me longer than necessary. The compliment that shouldn't have mattered, "You're very pretty," struck a chord deep inside me. My cheeks flushed, but part of me reveled in it. Alina noticed, her smirk unreadable. "See? They notice. They always notice. That's power if you let it be." Back at a small boutique, Alina began the next phase. Voice and posture. "Your voice," she said, handing me a small recorder. "It needs to float. Soft, melodic, confident but gentle. Men listen, women envy. You must master it." I cleared my throat, attempting the delicate modulation she demonstrated. My first attempts were harsh, awkward, unnatural. She corrected me, guiding my jaw, adjusting my tongue. Her hands lingered longer than necessary, and a shiver ran down my spine. "Good. Better. Almost perfect," she whispered, her lips close to my ear. "People will hear a girl, not the boy you were." I hated it. I craved it. My mind spun in conflicting loops, and I felt the first real taste of loss, my old self slipping, unrecognizable. On the street outside the boutique, a boy approached. Taller, confident, with a warm smile. "Hey, you look amazing," he said, eyes holding mine. Alina watched silently, approvingly. My heart raced. Panic, shame, and excitement collided. I wanted to run, but my legs froze. A tremor in my voice made the compliment spill out, shy and soft. "Thank you." The boy's smile widened. "Seriously, you're beautiful." Alina's hand squeezed mine, guiding me away. "Remember this feeling. Power and fear are closer than you think." I didn't understand her words fully, but I knew she was right. At home, I collapsed before the mirror. My reflection looked alive, radiant, impossible. Every feature sculpted by Alina's guidance. Makeup perfect, hair glossy, posture elegant. I barely recognized the boy who had left the house hours earlier. Who am I anymore? I whispered to the reflection, almost pleading. Alina appeared behind me, brushing my hair aside. You're still you, just better. Braver. More beautiful than you ever imagined. Her words were comforting, terrifying, and humiliatingly intoxicating. That night, I dreamed of eyes on me everywhere I went, on the street, in the cafe, even in the quiet of my apartment. And I realized, with a cold shock of understanding, I wasn't just pretending anymore. The boy I was disappearing, and I didn't know if I wanted him back. And as sleep claimed me, Alina's last words echoed through my mind. Tomorrow, you will be ready to face the world completely. And the world will see you exactly as I want them to. Every step I took felt like a performance, every glance from strangers a verdict, and I couldn't stop looking for approval. The morning sun had barely touched the city streets when Alina appeared at my door, holding a new outfit and a mischievous glint in her eyes. Today's plan was more daring than ever. A short, flowing skirt, sheer stockings, and a fitted blouse that emphasized every curve. My heels were higher than any I had worn before. Today, she said, we test you in the real world. No hiding. No excuses. People will see exactly who you are. I felt my chest tighten. The boy I had been was already gone, replaced by a trembling, terrified, yet excited version of myself. Every instinct screamed to resist, yet a hidden thrill laced through me. You're ready, Alina whispered, her hand resting on my shoulder. Trust me. We left the apartment, and the city swallowed us whole. Sidewalks teemed with people, the air buzzing with chatter, cars, and movement. I felt exposed. Every glance, every whisper, every second stretched into eternity. Alina held my hand, guiding me through the throng. Notice them noticing you. Don't shrink. Stand tall. You're beautiful. A group of teenagers passed by, snickering under their breath. My face flushed crimson. Yet, for the first time, I felt a strange surge of pride. They were noticing me. I existed in their world in a way I never had before. At a boutique, she instructed me to try on lingerie over my outfit. My hands shook violently as I touched the delicate fabric. I can't, I whispered, voice trembling. Yes, you can, she insisted, her tone gentle yet commanding. You're stronger than you think. With her guidance, I donned the lingerie beneath my blouse and skirt. I hated it. I loved it. I felt humiliated and powerful. Alina led me into a bustling shopping mall. The fluorescent lights, the chatter, the casual stares, it was overwhelming. But she whispered, walk like you own it. Every step is a statement. I stumbled slightly in my heels, drawing a few stairs. My face burned. I wanted to disappear. But Alina's presence was steady, anchoring me while simultaneously commanding control. A couple of young men glanced at me as I passed a clothing store window. One whispered something to his friend, and I felt my heart race. Shame, embarrassment, and an odd thrill collided inside me. See, Alina murmured. They notice. You're captivating. Own it. While resting on a bench, a boy, around my age, approached. His gaze lingered, warm and curious. Hey, you look amazing, he said softly. My stomach flipped. Part of me wanted to run. Part of me wanted to lean into the compliment. Thank you, I stammered, voice soft and unsure. Alina watched silently from nearby, her smirk unreadable. Remember this feeling, she said. Fear and power are closer than you think. The boy smiled, not unkindly, and sat beside me. He didn't know the secret, the transformation, the manipulation, but he made me feel seen in a way I hadn't before. Back in a private dressing room, I collapsed in front of the mirror. Tears blurred my vision. The boy I had been, the quiet, invisible observer, was fading fast. What stared back at me was someone new, someone fragile, beautiful, and exposed. Alina's hand rested on my shoulder, grounding me. "You're doing beautifully," she whispered. "Soon, the world will see exactly what I've been shaping." I hated the thought. I craved it. I felt powerless and yet alive. That night, as I lay in bed, I realized the terrifying truth. I was no longer just wearing a new identity. I was becoming it. And Alina's final words echoed in my mind. "Tomorrow, the experiment continues. And you'll be completely unrecognizable to the world, and perhaps even to yourself." I was no longer sure which reflection in the mirror belonged to me, or if I even wanted it back. The day began with the sun barely touching the horizon. Alina arrived at my apartment, her eyes sparkling with the kind of mischief that made my stomach twist. Today's outfit was audacious, a tight, floral dress that accentuated my curves, sheer stockings, and the highest heels I had worn so far. My hair, curled and glossy, framed my face perfectly, while makeup highlighted features I had never imagined could exist on me. "Today," she said, "we test you completely. No hiding. No excuses. The world will see the real you." I swallowed hard, gripping the edge of the dresser. My reflection was breathtaking, but terrifying. Every part of me screamed, "This isn't you." "It is," Alina whispered, stepping closer. Her hand rested on my shoulder, grounding yet commanding. "You just haven't realized it yet." We left the apartment, and the city embraced us. Each step in my heels was a mixture of agony and thrill. Sidewalks crowded with people felt like a stage, every glance a spotlight. I was exposed, vulnerable, and strangely alive. Alina guided me through the streets. "Own your presence. Every glance, every whisper, it's all part of the performance." A group of college students passed by, whispering. My cheeks burned. Part of me wanted to run. Part of me craved the attention. "See," Alina murmured. "They notice you.
You're captivating."
Embrace it." I felt myself shaking, torn between fear, humiliation, and an inexplicable thrill. We entered a busy cafe. Alina had me order drinks, my voice soft, trembling. The barista's eyes lingered on me longer than necessary. "You're beautiful," he said, and I froze. My cheeks flamed, a mix of shame and secret excitement. Alina's hand squeezed mine. "Feel it. That's power, even if you don't want it." We sat at a table, and Alina insisted I cross my legs and maintain perfect posture. My body was tense, every muscle aching from the heels, but I obeyed. A passerby, noticing me from outside, whispered to a friend. The words weren't cruel, but they were loud enough to make me feel seen. Every glance, every whisper, every subtle laugh from strangers amplified my humiliation, and yet, part of me ached for it. Back home, I stared at myself in the mirror, tears stinging my eyes. The boy I had been was gone, replaced by someone delicate, beautiful, and fragile. I didn't recognize myself. Alina appeared behind me, brushing my hair aside. "You're doing wonderfully," she whispered. "Soon, the world will see exactly what I've shaped." I hated it. I loved it. My identity felt slippery, like sand slipping through my fingers. I can't. I don't know who I am anymore," I whispered. "That's exactly the point," Alina replied softly, almost soothingly. "You're shedding the old. Embrace the new." Later, on the street, the boy I had met previously appeared again. His eyes lingered, warm and curious. "Hey, you look amazing," he said softly. My chest tightened. I wanted to flee, but my legs froze. Thank you." My voice was shy, trembling. Alina watched silently, a faint smirk on her lips. "Fear and power, remember? They are closer than you think." The boy smiled warmly, oblivious to the transformation I had endured. For a moment, I almost forgot the humiliation, almost allowed myself to feel like a girl in a world that accepted me. That night, I lay in bed, heels and stockings still on, trembling. My reflection haunted me. I was no longer sure which version of myself I wanted. The invisible boy from yesterday or the delicate, beautiful girl Alina had created. And then Alina's voice, calm and commanding in my mind, cut through the darkness. Tomorrow, you will be ready for the ultimate test. The world will see you completely. And there's no turning back. I shivered at the thought. I wasn't just stepping into the world. I was stepping into someone else's version of me. And I wasn't sure I could come back. The morning sunlight spilled into my room, catching the shimmer of the dress Alina had chosen. Today's outfit was daring. A fitted red dress that clung to every curve, paired with lace stockings and heels that made me teeter slightly with each step. My hair cascaded over my shoulders in soft waves, and makeup highlighted features I barely recognized. Today, Alina said, her voice sharp yet silky, you leave the apartment fully. The world will see you as the girl I've created. No hiding. No pretending. Only reality. My stomach twisted. I was terrified. I was exposed. And yet, somewhere deep inside, a part of me craved the challenge. I can't, I whispered, gripping the edge of my dresser. Yes, you can, she countered, moving closer. Her hand brushed my cheek, grounding and commanding at once. You've already done more than you realize. Trust me. I nodded shakily. The door closed behind us, sealing me into the day that would change everything. The city was alive with movement, noise, and attention. Every step I took in my heels felt like a spotlight on my trembling body. Strangers' eyes lingered. Whispers brushed my ears. My face burned with humiliation, but Alina's hand on mine kept me tethered. Notice them noticing you, she whispered. Every glance is part of your power. A group of college students passed, smirking. My heart pounded. Shame, excitement, and fear collided. A small, forbidden thrill surged. I was being seen, undeniably, and part of me wanted it. At a boutique, Alina had me try on delicate lingerie under my dress. I froze, trembling. I can't, I whispered. Yes, you can, she replied softly, guiding me. You're stronger than you think. You're beautiful. I hated it. I loved it. Every touch, every fabric brush, every whispered encouragement twisted me further into my new self. Outside the boutique, the boy I had met previously appeared. His eyes held warmth and curiosity. You look amazing, he said, and my chest tightened. I wanted to flee. I wanted to melt. I stammered. Thank you. My voice was soft, shaky, undeniably feminine. Alina watched silently, her smirk unreadable. Fear and power, she murmured, are closer than you think. The boy smiled, oblivious to the layers of transformation I had endured. But his attention sent shivers down my spine, a mixture of fear, arousal, and excitement. Back home, I stared into the mirror. Every feature, every line, every curve reflected the girl Alina had shaped. The boy I had been was gone. My reflection felt alive, radiant, and completely foreign. Who am I anymore? I whispered, voice shaking. You are everything you need to be, Alina replied, brushing a strand of hair from my face. Soon, the world will see it too. And there's no turning back. I trembled. I hated her words. I craved them. I wanted to resist, and yet I feared losing myself entirely if I did. That night, I lay awake, heels still on, stockings clinging to my legs. My chest burned with anticipation, embarrassment, and something dangerously close to desire. Alina's words echoed in my mind. Tomorrow you face the world completely, and the world will know the girl I've created. And perhaps so will you. I shivered at the thought. My heart pounded. My identity trembled. I wasn't sure who I was anymore, but I knew one thing for certain. Tomorrow, everything would change, and there would be no turning back. Every eye on me felt like a knife, slicing away the boy I used to be, and I couldn't look away. The morning arrived with a nervous energy. Today's outfit was daring yet elegant, a fitted emerald dress that hugged my curves, paired with sheer stockings and sky-high heels. My hair was styled in soft waves, makeup flawless and deliberate. Alina stood at the doorway, radiating control and command. Today, the world will see you. Every glance, every whisper, They'll know exactly who you are. And maybe so will you. My stomach twisted. Fear, excitement, shame, and anticipation tangled inside me. I wasn't just stepping out. I was stepping into someone I barely recognized. I can't, I whispered, gripping the doorframe. Yes, you can, Alina replied softly, placing her hand on my shoulder. You've already done more than you realize. Trust me. Alina led me to the city's largest mall, a public arena for humiliation and display. Mirrors lined every corridor, reflecting me from every angle. I felt exposed. Every glance from passers-by felt like a judgment, every whisper like a verdict. Walk with purpose, she instructed. Every step, every sway of your hips, every glance, it's your performance. I stumbled slightly in my heels, heat flooding my face. People turned, whispered, smiled. Some eyes held admiration, others curiosity. My humiliation surged, yet a strange thrill coursed through me. See, Alina murmured. They notice. You're captivating. Own it. Alina guided me to a cafe overlooking the central atrium. She instructed me to order drinks aloud, maintain perfect posture, and smile as strangers watched. My voice trembled, soft and melodic, drawing attention from nearby tables. A group of young men whispered to one another, eyes lingering on me. My cheeks burned. My heart raced. Shame, humiliation, and arousal collided inside me, creating a cocktail of emotions I didn't understand. Alina's hand squeezed mine. Every glance, every whisper, it's power, even if you don't want it. Outside the cafe, the boy I had met previously appeared. His eyes held warmth and curiosity, unaffected by the layers of transformation I had endured. You look amazing, he said softly. My chest tightened. I wanted to flee. I wanted to melt. My voice, soft and trembling, whispered, Teach, thank you. Alina watched silently, her smirk unreadable. Fear and power, remember? They are closer than you think. His attention ignited something inside me, a mix of desire, embarrassment, and longing. I hated the feelings, yet couldn't deny them. Back home, I stared at myself in the mirror. Every curve, every contour, every line reflected a girl I barely recognized. The boy I had been was gone. Who am I anymore? I whispered, voice shaking. You are exactly who you need to be, Alina said, brushing a strand of hair from my face. Soon, the world will see it too. And perhaps so will you. Tears blurred my vision. Shame, humiliation, desire, and identity crisis all swirled into one. I hated her. I craved her. I feared myself. That night, lying in bed, I realized the terrifying truth. I wasn't just wearing a new identity. I was becoming her creation, and every glance, every touch, every whisper brought me closer to losing myself completely. Alina's words echoed in my mind. Tomorrow, you face the ultimate challenge. And there's no turning back. I shivered, heart pounding. The line between boy and girl, fear and desire, humiliation and thrill, had completely blurred. Every step I took felt like the world was watching, and part of me wanted them to. The day began with a tremor in my stomach. Today's outfit was Alina's boldest choice yet, a short, silky dress in deep crimson that clung to my every curve, sheer stockings, and impossibly high heels. My hair was styled perfectly, waves cascading down my back, and makeup accentuated every feature of my face. Today, Alina said, her voice silky and commanding, you face the world fully. No hiding, no excuses, and you will feel every glance. My chest tightened. The girl in the mirror looked flawless. Terrifyingly flawless. The boy I had been yesterday or even this morning was gone. I can't do this, I whispered, gripping the doorframe. Yes, you can, she replied softly, brushing a strand of hair from my face. You've already walked this far. Trust yourself. Alina led me into the largest, busiest mall in the city, a public arena filled with mirrors, reflective glass, and an audience I hadn't even imagined. My heels clicked against the floor, each step a small agony. Every passerby's glance felt like fire against my skin. "Own it," Alina whispered. "Every movement, every sway, every glance, you are a show. The world is your audience." I stumbled slightly, heat flooding my cheeks. A group of college students whispered and laughed. My stomach twisted. Humiliation, desire, and fear coiled together inside me. "See," Alina murmured, her hand guiding me. "They notice. You're captivating. Embrace it." At a cafe overlooking the mall atrium, Alina challenged me to order drinks aloud while maintaining perfect posture. My voice trembled, soft, melodic, undeniably feminine. A group of men at a nearby table whispered, eyes lingering on me. I felt my cheeks burn, my chest tighten. Humiliation and excitement collided in a way I didn't understand. Alina squeezed my hand. "Every glance, every whisper is power, even if you don't want it." The boy I had grown close to appeared again. His gaze was warm, curious, and completely unaware of the storm behind my transformation. "You look amazing," he said softly. My chest tightened painfully. I wanted to flee. I wanted to collapse. My voice, trembling, whispered, "Paige, thank you." Alina watched silently, a faint smirk on her lips. "Fear and power," she whispered, "are closer than you think." His presence stirred emotions I barely understood. Desire, shame, excitement. I hated it. I needed it. Back home, I stared at myself in the mirror. Every curve, every contour, every shadow reflected a girl I barely recognized. The boy I had been was gone. Who am I anymore?" I whispered, voice trembling. "Exactly who you need to be," Alina replied softly. "The world will see it. And soon you will too." Tears blurred my vision. Shame, humiliation, desire, identity crisis, they all collided. I hated her. I craved her. I feared myself. That night, lying in bed, heels still on, stockings clinging, I realized the horrifying truth. I wasn't just wearing a new identity. I was becoming it. Every glance, every touch, every whispered compliment pushed me closer to losing the boy I had been, and I didn't know if I wanted him back. Alina's words echoed. "Tomorrow, the final step. The world will see the girl I've created. And so will you." I shivered. My heart pounded. The line between fear, desire, humiliation, and thrill had completely blurred. Everything I thought I knew about myself was gone. And the truth, the terrifying, intoxicating truth, was waiting. The morning air was thick with tension. Alina entered my room carrying a final outfit, a shimmering silver dress that hugged my body perfectly, paired with lace stockings and sky-high heels. My hair was styled into loose waves, makeup flawless, accentuating every delicate feature. "Today," she said, voice low and commanding, "you face the world completely. No hiding. No excuses. And you will see yourself as everyone else sees you." My chest tightened. I was terrified. Every glance, every step, every movement would strip away the last remnants of the boy I had been. I can't do this," I whispered. "Yes, you can," Alina replied, stepping close. Her hand brushed my cheek, warm and grounding. "You've come too far. Trust yourself." Alina led me to the city's grandest plaza, filled with strangers, cafes, and mirrored storefronts. Crowds moved around us, oblivious to the performance about to unfold. My heels clicked against the stone floor, each step a mixture of agony and thrill. "Walk with confidence," Alina instructed. "Every glance is a spotlight. Every whisper, your power." People stared. Some whispered. Some smiled. My face burned. Every instinct screamed to hide, yet part of me longed for their attention. A group of college students passed, laughing and pointing. I wanted to vanish. And yet, I couldn't stop the small, thrilling shiver that ran through me. "See," Alina whispered. "They notice. They're captivated. That's your strength." The boy I had grown close to appeared again. His gaze was warm, admiring. "You look incredible," he said softly. My chest tightened painfully. I wanted to flee. My voice trembled. "Thank you." Alina's eyes glinted. "Fear and power," she whispered. "They are inseparable." I felt an unfamiliar warmth in my chest, desire, embarrassment, excitement, all tangled in confusion. I hated it. I craved it. Back in my apartment, Alina closed the door behind us. She circled me slowly, her expression unreadable. "Do you understand now?" she asked, voice low. "The reason for all this?" I shook my head, trembling. "You were invisible," she said softly. "Ignored. Forgotten. Weak. And now look at you. Strong. Beautiful. Desired. You've become what you never thought possible. And all because I pushed you." Tears pricked my eyes. Shame, humiliation, excitement. They collided into a storm of emotions I couldn't control. I stammered. "Sure," she whispered, cupping my face. "You don't need words. You only need to see yourself. Truly see." I stood before the mirror. Every curve, every contour, every delicate feature reflected the girl Alina had created. My old self, the boy who had walked timidly through life, was gone. I barely recognized myself. Who am I anymore?" I whispered. "Exactly who you were meant to be," Alina replied, smiling. "And the world will see it. And maybe so will you." Shame, desire, and awe swirled together. I hated her. I needed her. I feared myself. And yet, a strange, thrilling power pulsed through me. That night, lying in bed, heels still on, stockings clinging, I realized the undeniable truth. I wasn't just wearing a new identity. I had become her creation, and the boy I had been was gone forever. Alina's final words echoed in my mind. "Tomorrow, the world will see you. And there's no turning back." I shivered. My heart pounded. My identity, desire, fear, and thrill, all blurred into one impossible reality. I had reached the point where every choice felt impossible, yet every step forward was inevitable. The morning sun streamed through the window, illuminating the outfit Alina had prepared, a soft, flowing pink dress that clung to my curves just enough to highlight them, paired with lace stockings and heels I had long since mastered. My hair was perfectly curled, my makeup flawless, and my reflection in the mirror looked beautiful. Terrifyingly beautiful. "Today," Alina said, voice low and commanding, "you decide. Will you embrace this new world or flee from it?" I swallowed hard. The boy I had been, the quiet, timid version of myself, was gone. What stared back at me in the mirror was someone else. Someone fragile, powerful, and undeniably feminine. I don't know if I can go back," I whispered. "You can't," Alina replied softly. "Not anymore. And perhaps you wouldn't want to." Alina led me outside one last time. Crowds of people, oblivious to the story behind me, stopped and stared. Some whispered admiration. Some stared openly. My face burned, heart pounding. "See," Alina whispered. "They see you for who you truly are now. And the world doesn't reject you. It notices, it desires, it respects." The boy I had grown close to appeared again, his gaze lingering, warm and genuine. "You look incredible," he said softly. My chest tightened. I wanted to flee. I wanted to collapse. But the thrill, the power, the undeniable pull of who I had become held me rooted in place. "Thank you," I whispered, voice trembling. Not just for him, but for myself. For the girl I had become. Back at the apartment, Alina finally revealed everything. "I didn't do this for cruelty," she said, circling me. "I did this because you needed to see yourself. Because the world ignored you, underestimated you, and you ignored yourself. This is your chance to exist fully, beautifully, undeniably." Tears ran down my cheeks. Shame, excitement, fear, and desire all collided. I hated her. I needed her. I feared myself. And yet, a strange sense of liberation pulsed through me. I, I don't know if I can ever be the boy I was, I admitted. Good, she whispered, because that boy is gone. And he doesn't define you anymore. I stared into the mirror, taking in every detail, the soft curve of my hips, the delicate line of my jaw, the radiant eyes, the trembling lips. The girl who stared back at me was fragile, beautiful, and undeniably me. I think I can be this person, I whispered. Yes, Alina replied, smiling. You already are. I felt a shiver of fear and exhilaration. I had lost part of myself, but in doing so, I had gained something intoxicating, powerful, and completely new. The boy I had been would never return. And yet, for the first time, I felt a sense of peace. I was alive. I was seen. I was beautiful. The boy's gaze, my admirer's warmth, reminded me that the world could accept me, desire me, even love me. And I realized I didn't need to hide anymore. Alina's hand on mine, steady and guiding, felt like a final blessing. Go forward, she whispered. Be everything you were meant to be. And for the first time, I smiled at my reflection, not out of vanity, but out of recognition. I was no longer the boy who had walked timidly through life. I was someone new, someone complete. As I stepped out into the world, heels clicking, dress flowing, I caught my reflection in a shop window and froze. A familiar figure stood behind me in the crowd, staring with wide, incredulous eyes. Someone from my past had recognized me. And in that instant, I realized my new life would never be the same again. I thought I had embraced everything, my identity, my new life, but nothing could have prepared me for this. The morning sun filtered through the curtains, and I awoke feeling different. Not physically, exactly, but something inside me had shifted, a subtle pressure in my lower abdomen that I couldn't ignore. It's nothing, I muttered to myself, trying to shake off the unease. But the feeling persisted. Alina entered the room, her eyes sharp, almost mischievous. Good morning, beautiful. How are you feeling? Fine, I think, I whispered, though uncertainty lingered. Her gaze softened. We need to do a little check, just to be safe. She handed me a small test strip. Confused, I looked up at her. It's just precautionary, she said, smiling gently. But I think you'll find the results surprising. My hands shook as I followed her instructions. Moments later, the results stared back at me in bold, unmistakable clarity. Positive. No, this can't be, I whispered, voice trembling. Alina approached, her hand brushing mine. It's real, she said softly. You're carrying life. The experiment, well, it seems to have taken an unexpected turn. Shock, fear, and disbelief collided in my chest. I sank to the floor, trembling. My reflection in the mirror, once a source of terror and empowerment, now stared back at me with wide, terrified eyes. How is this possible? I whispered. I told you, Alina said softly, sitting beside me. This was never just about clothing or appearances. It was about transformation, mind, body, and life itself. I collapsed into her arms, tears streaming down my face. Every emotion I had felt during my transformation, fear, humiliation, desire, thrill, and power, now collided with something far greater, responsibility. I don't know if I can handle this, I whispered. You can, she assured me. You've survived everything else. You've embraced yourself. And now, you will carry life with the same strength and courage. I shivered, unsure whether to scream, cry, or laugh. Part of me wanted to run, to escape the reality of what was happening. Part of me wanted to embrace it, just as I had embraced every other aspect of this twisted, thrilling journey. The boy I had grown close to appeared at the door, concern etched across his face. I wanted to make sure you're okay, he said softly, eyes wide as they took in the revelation. I felt a wave of fear and shame, but also a strange, comforting warmth. His presence reminded me that, despite everything, I was still seen, still loved, still human. I don't know what's happening, I admitted, voice trembling. He stepped closer, taking my hand gently. Whatever happens, we'll face it together. Alina watched silently, her expression unreadable. Yes, together, she said softly, almost approvingly. I looked at myself in the mirror, tears streaking my makeup. My body had changed, my identity had shifted, and now I carried life within me. Every curve, every line, every trembling gesture reflected not just the girl I had become, but the responsibility and power I now held. I can do this, I whispered to my reflection. Alina's hand rested on my shoulder. You already are doing it. You already are her, strong, beautiful, unstoppable. The boy's reassuring smile, Alina's commanding presence, and my own reflection merged into one reality. I had transformed completely, body and soul. There was no turning back, and perhaps no need to. As I stepped out into the world, heels clicking, dress flowing, and life growing within me, I caught a final glimpse of my reflection in a shop window. And then I saw her, a stranger from my past, staring with disbelief, recognition, and something more. My heart raced. My journey had only just begun. I had lost my old self completely, but in losing him, I had found someone stronger, bolder, and undeniably alive. The morning sun poured through the curtains, highlighting the soft curves of my new body and the gentle swell of life growing inside me. The dress Alina had chosen was delicate, flowing, and pink, soft like the reality I was slowly embracing. My hair tumbled down my shoulders in perfect waves, makeup highlighting features I had once feared, but now cherished. Alina stood nearby, her eyes soft, almost proud. Today, she said, voice gentle, you step into the world fully. Not as a boy, not as a creation, but as yourself, completely. My heart raced. The boy I had been was gone. The girl in the mirror, strong, beautiful, powerful, was me. And for the first time, I smiled at her reflection, not out of fear, shame, or desire, but recognition. I think I can do this, I whispered, voice steady. You already are, Alina replied, her hand brushing my cheek. We stepped outside. The city, bustling and alive, felt different now. Every glance, every whisper, every smile felt like affirmation. I walked with confidence, heels clicking against the pavement. People noticed, yes, but not with judgment. With admiration, with recognition. The boy I had grown close to waited for me nearby. His eyes widened, and a smile spread across his face. You're amazing, he said softly, taking my hand. I squeezed his hand back, heart swelling. Thank you for being here. He didn't hesitate. His presence, warm and supportive, reassured me that this new life, though unexpected, wasn't something I had to face alone. Back at the apartment, Alina guided me through the last stage of my transformation, fully embracing the pregnancy, caring for my new body, and walking through the final mental barriers that had haunted me for months. You've done everything I asked, she said, eyes bright with pride. And now you're free. Free to live, free to be, free to embrace the life growing inside you. I felt tears prick my eyes. I hated her methods, yes, but I couldn't deny the truth. I had grown, I had changed, I had survived, and now I was stronger than I had ever imagined. I stood before the mirror one last time. The girl looking back was radiant, confident, vulnerable, and strong. She was everything I had feared, everything I had longed for, and everything I could finally embrace. I am her, I whispered, softly, with awe and acceptance. Alina smiled. Yes. And the world will see her, too. The boy stood beside me, hand in mine, watching silently. His presence reminded me that acceptance didn't mean isolation. I had support, love, and recognition. I had survived humiliation, fear, desire, and identity collapse, and emerged completely transformed. As I stepped out into the world, heels clicking, dress flowing, and life growing within me, I felt whole. Fear remained. How could it not? But excitement, confidence, and empowerment surged stronger. I had been pushed to my limits, tested in ways I never imagined, and I had emerged victorious, not as the boy I had been, but as the girl I was always meant to become. Alina's words echoed one last time. Go forward. Be everything you are. Beautiful, unstoppable, alive. And I did. As I walked down the bustling street, I caught a reflection in a shop window. Someone familiar, someone from my past staring in shock and recognition. The world had changed, and so had I. A shiver of anticipation ran through me. My life, my identity, and the life growing inside me were intertwined in a story that was only beginning. I had walked through fire, shame, and fear, and now I was finally stepping into something entirely my own. The morning light spilled into my apartment, soft and golden, highlighting the gentle curve of my growing belly. My heels clicked lightly across the floor as I practiced walking, a motion that had once terrified me, now graceful and confident. The dress Alina had chosen was flowing, soft lavender, reflecting the calm I had finally begun to feel inside. Alina watched me silently, her expression a mixture of pride and subtle mischief. You've done more than I ever expected, she said softly. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. I smiled, finally able to meet her gaze without fear. I think I finally understand. All of this, it's me. Yes, she said, stepping closer. Not the old boy. Not my creation. You. The strongest, most beautiful version of you. Stepping outside, the city felt different. People glanced, yes, but now I no longer flinched. I walked confidently, heels clicking, dress flowing, and my presence commanding attention in a way that no longer terrified me. The boy I had grown close to met me outside, his eyes wide with admiration. You're radiant, he said softly, taking my hand. I laughed lightly, the sound free and natural. I think I'm starting to feel it too, this life. This me. He smiled, squeezing my hand. And I'll be here every step. Back at the apartment, Alina prepared to leave, her role complete. Remember, she said, her hand brushing my cheek, you've survived every test, every humiliation, every fear. Now the world is yours. Don't hide. Don't apologize. Own it. Tears ran down my cheeks, not from shame this time, but from relief and empowerment. Thank you, I whispered, for everything. No, she said, smiling faintly. Thank yourself. I just pushed the mirror in front of you. And with that, she was gone. The apartment felt quieter, but not empty. I had finally learned that strength, identity, and beauty came from within. I stood before the mirror, touching the gentle curve of my stomach, taking in every line, every feature, every part of the girl I had become. I smiled. Fear was gone, replaced with pride. Shame was gone, replaced with confidence. I am her, I whispered. For the first time, I truly believed it. Outside, the city buzzed with life. People passed, oblivious to the story behind me. But I walked with a new rhythm, a new grace, a new sense of self. The life growing inside me reminded me of everything I had endured and everything I could now become. The boy's hand in mine, the warmth of the sun on my face, and the reflection in every window told me one thing: my story wasn't over. It was just beginning. As I caught my reflection in a shop window, I saw a figure in the crowd, a familiar face staring with recognition and shock. The world had changed, and so had I. A shiver ran through me, not of fear, but of anticipation. My life, my identity, and the life within me were intertwined in a story that was only just beginning. The apartment was quiet, sun filtering softly through sheer curtains. I stretched, hand instinctively resting on my belly, now more pronounced than ever. The gentle curve reminded me constantly of the life growing within me. But today, something felt off. A subtle pressure, an unfamiliar flutter. My reflection in the mirror caught my attention. I stared at the girl I had become, poised, beautiful, fully transformed. Yet my expression was tense, unsure. Not again. I whispered to myself. Alina's voice echoed in my memory. Transformation isn't just about appearances. It's about everything. Body, mind, life. I grabbed my phone. A notification blinked on the screen. A message from an unknown number. We know what you've become, and we want it. Panic surged. My heart raced, hands trembling. The message was vague, threatening, but it carried a weight I couldn't ignore. I looked at the reflection again, and for the first time, fear pierced through the confidence I had worked so hard to build. I thought this was my life to control, I whispered. But someone else knows. Someone else is watching. The boy I had grown close to arrived unexpectedly, concern written across his face. I saw the message, he said softly, stepping closer. Are you okay? I hesitated, then handed him the phone. His eyes widened, and he pulled me into a protective hug. Don't worry, he whispered. Whatever this is, we'll face it together. I nodded, heart racing, body tense. The pregnancy, the transformation, Alina's guidance, it had all prepared me to survive. But now a new unknown threatened everything. Later, I stood before the mirror, touching the swell of life growing within me. My reflection stared back with calm, but beneath it, a storm of fear and anticipation churned. I am strong, I whispered. I survived everything else. I can face this too. The thought gave me a fragile sense of control, but the unknown loomed, a shadow over my newfound confidence. A soft knock came at the door. My pulse quickened. Who is it? I asked, voice trembling slightly. No answer, just the sound of footsteps retreating into the hallway. I froze, heart pounding. And then, a single note slipped under the door, written in a handwriting I didn't recognize. You thought this was the end. It's only the beginning. I felt a shiver run down my spine. My transformation had ended, but the game, it seemed, was far from over.